This is the old breed from Toledo.
On the Rooster Show.
You're listening to WROS.
Dude, it's not a radio station, it's a podcast.
Oh, what the fuck?
Okay then.
There's no time to waste. The ticket away. It's 80,400 seconds in a day. 80,400 seconds in a day. 80,400 seconds in a day. There's no time to waste. The ticket away. It's 80,400 seconds in a day. Every moment you spend looking back is wasted. Take a fifth, pull it up, shove it in their faces. Don't be your own obstacle. Fuck these people traces. Let them have first place and running your races. 86,400 seconds in a day. 86,400 seconds in a day. There's no time to waste. The ticket away. There's 86,400 seconds in a day. 80,400 seconds in a day. 80,400 seconds in a day. There's no time to waste. The ticket away. There's 80,400 seconds in a day. Why would you let people you can't even stand in front of you? Let some hater ruin your day. Whenever they take a mind to everything you do is wrong. They happen to remind you. Turn around and walk away. Just leave it right behind you. 86,400 seconds in a day.
Hello and thank you for choosing the wide, wide world of music. I am your guest. How you doing? This is Rooster Jones. Welcome to Rooster Show. And today we have Gerrard, Pick-a-Bar, 45
Hey,
Act. Hey, how you doing?
pretty good. Pretty good. Trying to wake up. It's this 1 o'clock came much faster than I was expecting after a little bit of a celebration last night.
Ah, look at you, all getting drunk and stuff. Good stuff. That's part of working class. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I feel like drinking is the great unifier of all the classes. I've had drinks with very, very rich people and very, very poor people.
Yes. And you know what? They're both wonderful. Yeah, good times on both ends. Well, welcome to the Rooster Show, buddy. Do you go by Pick-a-Bar?
No,
what do you
everybody
go
calls
by?
me. Basically, everybody except for my daughter and my girlfriend call me G. That's what everybody calls me.
Okay, okay. Well, welcome. I love your music. Love your new album.
Thanks so much.
Unstoppable is excellent.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
definitely. I really was getting into it, especially 400.
Yeah, I
that's,
think
that's
all the time. That's kind of, sometimes you write songs for other people. That song is like a song directly reminding myself every day, get up and fucking make it happen.
you know what? Yeah, no duh. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of wasting time away. You know what I mean? We got gifts that we're gonna be given. We got to share it with the world. You know what I mean?
I think
You know,
everybody, I think everybody's got something today, like this day, that they can get up and
Yeah.
do nobody else but them can do, and it's easy. I gotta say that's like one of the few good things about getting older is like I used to worry about all these different things. Now I don't give. I wake up every day and I'm like, how am I going to do me harder than yesterday? Just one little bit, And I think everybody's got something they got to do. I'm just that song really is about just like stop fucking worrying about
Yeah.
what this guy think. What did this guy say to this guy? What did she say about him? Say fuck that. I wake up every day and I'm like, I'm going to make something happen.
Yep. We can actually find good reasons to bitch and moan and whine and get out of situations to better ourselves, can't we?
Totally.
Uh,
Also,
uh,
one of the things that whole song like popped into my head was because, sometimes you get in this like mind where you're worrying about these people, and then you take a step back and you're like, I don't even like that dude. What the hell am I worrying about what this idiot thinks? I don't even like
yeah,
him.
yeah.
So he
Exactly.
said something bad about me. Thank you, sir. Let me keep moving.
Yeah, exactly. I know I think it's awesome when people talk crap. That means I'm doing something,
Oh. Well,
poking
also,
the bears somewhere.
Also, it's almost like I have the best comeback now. Whenever somebody tries to heard me out or like try to diss me or something like that out of the blue, for no reason, I just
Yeah.
go like, hey, everything okay with you? Yeah, something up at home? Because that's what, like, I'm happy. So if you're walking around unhappy, like, I don't know, can I help you out? You need a hug or something,
Yeah, I'll give you a bro hug. No big deal. Free, no doubt. That's awesome. Well, man, you are setting the bar really high on being an awesome singer, man. Good vocalist. And as you said, you're writing better lyrics now. Huh? That's
Yeah, I
what you
mean,
feel, huh? What's
it
up
makes
with
no
that statement?
It makes no
Real
sense.
quick.
I swear to you, I just wrote a song like 3 weeks ago. And I brought it to the band, and we were all like, "Yo, this is really good, right?" Like, I don't know. It's the engine is I think like with everything else in life, if you get with the right group of people and they
Yeah.
all positive, like so. Right now, our band is kind of like a side band to the Stress, who I think are maybe the best, definitely one of the best boy bands in the world, and they just give me a little bit of that energy, and it's
Yeah.
got like I'm excited every week to get to practice and see what we're gonna do, which is it's
Yeah,
really cool.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
that's how
that
we expect. The band has been around since friggin' 2008 now. You would think, things would kind of
holy.
peak off, but I'm feeling more excited than I ever have, really.
Have you gone through many member changes?
Yeah, people usually can stand me for about a year
Oh,
and a half, 2 years, and then it's it's a little hard. I'm a lot. I'm a lot.
you're a lot of pain in the
But
butt. But you know
but
what? You get the job done though, man.
well,
I
also
mean,
what seems to keep happening though is
tough
that
love, right?
I get to a point where it's just not working out or people don't want to do it anymore. I'm like, all right, that's good. We had a good run, it's time to move on. And then I just meet somebody else awesome. And next thing I know, there's another chapter. So, I consider part of the reason why the band kept going is because it hasn't been one band. It's been like this group of dudes and what we did that time, then this other group of dudes.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty cool to see that. This band, I'm the least talented person in the band right now. I get out of their way and I just let them do it. It's been pretty amazing.
That is you guys have come a long way, definitely unstoppable. You guys have definitely made your mark in the Oi scene, and happy for you for that. It's there's a lot of good bands coming up, popping up right now. And you know what? I don't look at it as like competition, we're all here to help each other, man. Iron
I'm so
sharpens
excited,
iron.
dude. I'm so excited. Everybody talks about the 90s, but let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, you had like Templars, Oxblood, maybe one or two bands in the country. That was it, Now there's like, dude, in Paris alone, there's got to be 30 good oi bands. Like everybody you meet in Paris has got an amazing band. This is, super unpopular opinion. I think this is the golden age of like skinhead and skinhead adjacent music. Because, you go back to the original days, they had the best bands, right? Rejects, Spar, those are the best bands ever. But there were like
Ever.
7 of those. There's literally in Paris, there's like 30 good oi bands right now. Everybody's got it. And like every band I meet, they're like, "Oh, check out my songs. They're fucking amazing. It's great."
Yeah, it's like, where the hell have you guys been?
It's
It's more
awesome.
like,
And
where the hell have I been?
well, also, I think it's just people have gotten
I
into the
mean,
attitude now of like mixing it with everything. Like back in the day,
yeah,
99% of the bands that called themselves oi bands were just playing slow hardcore. You had to be chug, chug, chug. I'm a tough, all that kind of crap. So now
yeah,
people playing keyboards and like all kinds of like it's that they're open to the whole world of like skinhead and punk adjacent music, which I think is awesome.
yeah. It is. It's a great variety of, like you said, great variety of sound, and energy that's behind it is well, yeah, universal, of course, because that's the whole part of the scene. I mean, is world unity and love, that all that good stuff, that it sounds really good when we say it. It's just a matter of what making it happen. I mean, there's
Well, that's
still a
what
lot of division we got to fight with out there.
I
You
see a
know,
lot of it, but it's again, I hate to be, I feel like I'm sometimes Mr. Happy, but like I feel like it's much better than it's ever been. I was talking to
I
somebody,
do agree. It is a lot better, definitely.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and it's like we just had a festival in New York. It was 2 all-day shows with 2 all-night shows and at DJ after parties. I saw like one little scuffle, but everybody was there to have fun, see the bands. It was
Yeah,
when I started going to shows, like you would see the first 2 opening bands, and then immediately there was a massive fight. And
always. Yeah,
sometimes you go to a show and be like, I can't wait to see this band. 3 songs into their set, boop, 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 big fight, and and it was at the time it was exciting, everything. But now I look back, I'm like, it's so stupid. Like we don't have any shows, we
yeah.
can't see the bands, and we're only fighting each other. People who agree on like everything. We like the same bands, we've got the same clothes on, but we're gonna fight each other. And it seems like people are more
hate
about
it.
actually living that unity.
Yep, I agree. It does. Actually, it's it does break my heart with all the division. That's what all this is about right here. Is my show is just to try to help bring a little bit of love, and unity through punk and the goth rockers as well. Believe it or not, there's a lot of oi bands that have goth bands on the side as well.
Yeah,
It's kind of
well,
crazy.
dude, I
I
like.
just look at it as good music, man. Just good underground music, and
I'll be honest with you. I mostly listen
so
to reggae, soul, rock steady.
yeah,
I'm a '60s dude. But the thing about it is, if you love music, how can you pick this little bottle, and that's all we're gonna do?
exactly.
I love it. And I every time I go to shows and festivals and we're playing with other bands, I talk to them, and all of them are like, "Oh, I do this, I do that music, I do a solo project." I love it. As much as possible. All of us who love music, all of us who like grew up on poor. Let's be honest. Most of the shit is driven by we grew up poor. We had nothing. We built this stuff together. Like I don't really
Yeah.
care what shoes you're wearing, or like if it's or you got a keyboard in your band or something. I'm just psyched that everybody's out there making something and creating.
Yeah, speaking of that, you got Soul Invasion coming up, where you're going to be DJing there.
Yeah, with some heavy.
Yeah.
Well, I just DJ'd up in Toronto. They had the Templars played, and the day before they had like a reggae pre-party, and it was every DJ there had amazing records. Everybody was dancing, having a good time. So that was awesome, and I can't wait to go to Vegas. It's going to be Marv Mack and Phil Templar alone. I just stand back, and those guys, their records are, just bomb after bomb after bomb. You can't, can't stop dancing. Love it.
What got you into doing DJing, live DJ?
Honestly, just my friends, so I grew up poor, and basically I've been collecting records since I was young.
Yeah, me too, honestly. Yep, I relate with that.
I mostly bought records because they were cheap. Like, back in the day, you could go to like the Salvation Army and just pick up a stack of records for like a couple bucks. Whereas a CD was like, $15. Like, I was like, I can't afford that.
I know that's high class. Yeah, that's the high class stuff.
You got
right there.
CDs, that's fancy. So, I mostly bought cheap LPs. I never bought 45s because I was like, this is crazy. You're paying all this money for one song. But I was around Phil, I was around my friend Lucas, I was around all these guys, and they, they're pulling out their records, and I was like, I can get a few, just I'll buy a couple of records. And it's like, I'm an addict for everything. So as soon as I got a few of those, I was like, I need 4 more. I need that one. I need that one. And to this day, from all the way from like 20 years old to I'm 47 right now, I still, when I get that record in my hand, and I know like this was the one that came out in 1970 or 1968 or whatever in my hand. There's a feeling of like electricity from it. You can almost
Yeah, exactly. It's there's life in it, man. I mean,
it really
good
is.
music is timeless, no matter which way you look at it. Good
But
music
also
is
the
timeless.
connections, but also like the connections with the fans, because that means that record that I'm buying at the store, there's some kid who was 17 or whatever, spent their allowance money to get that record when it came out. And, I just picture like, it's like, almost like the Olympic torch handed down through history,
Hell yeah. One of my first vinyls was AC/DC, For Those About to Rock, and Kiss Alive. The Kiss Alive, the double where it opened up and it had a Kiss Alive sticker in it. It was Kiss Army sticker. It was bad. It was
I
bad.
don't remember the first one I got, but I do remember the first reggae record I ever bought, because I didn't grow up with my dad, but my dad was a Rasta. So I knew, he was into reggae and stuff. And this is before I
That's
ever skinheads or anything. I got a Toots and the Maytals later record. And the reason why I got it is because the dude looked kind of like my dad. I was like, hey, this guy looked kind of like my dad. Bought that record, loved it. A couple of years later, so that was like, I must have been 13 or, really young. A couple of years later, I bumped into the first time I saw Skinheads, and people talked to me about them, and I got like a reggae comp, and I was like, wait a minute, these guys dress like me, because I'm a nerd. They dress like me, and they like reggae. So I was like, this is perfect, So
that's awesome. So okay, how was 45 Adapters formed, created? How was it? I mean, you are the man behind it, right? I mean, all these years.
Well,
so what sparked this creation?
It was 50-50 when it started out. So like I had a band in high school. I don't know if you can see can't see the tattoos because of the blur, but I had a band bottom of the barrel in school that was basically just dudes I was drinking with were like, hey, we need a singer. I'm like, hey, I can sing, and boom, we did that. So that band broke up when we were like 19 or 20, and I never really thought I'd do any more music. I've always been friends with musicians, but I always considered myself like more a fan than a musician. And then I swear this is back in 2008. I was at a reggae night with my friend Julio, and he basically talked me into it. He was like, we were talking about starting a band, and we both agreed, like, it's kind of interesting that, like, now now there's skinhead bands that sing love songs, all kinds of different songs. So back then, skinheads only sang about beer and fighting and and we were at this reggae night, and we're just talking about how we all like love oi, we all love punk, we
Yeah.
all also love soul and rock steady and all these things, and
Of
how
course,
come
yeah, definitely.
and how come nobody's mixing them? So we sat there together, a little bit drunk, maybe a little bit, a little high, and we were like, we're gonna start a band, we're gonna have love songs, we're gonna like mix oi and reggae and oi and soul, and we told everybody at the party, and everybody we told was like, don't do that. That sounds horrible. Don't do it. Whatever you do, don't do that idea. That's a horrible idea. And we're both contrary, so we woke up the next day and we got it started. And
That's funny.
we got it going.
That's like mixing like a bunch of different alcoholic beverages together into one drink, and then it's gonna taste great.
Dude, and a lot of the shows we played, people were not very, as soon as I would introduce a song, I'd be like, this is a love song. People would start booing before we even started playing it, which is kind of
how funny.
It's kind of funny how far stuff has evolved now, where you can, like now people go. I just saw Homefront, and there's a bunch of skinheads dancing around to like, this like synth rock and stuff like that. Like people's attitude changed, but back then it literally like, I remember one of the songs I went ooh, and people looked at me like it was like skinheads can't ooh, I can't, can't do that. Which I've always thought is kind of silly, because if you go back in the day, like if you walk around like New York City in 19, I don't know, 47 or something like that. The guys you want to stay away from are the guys on the street corner singing like a beautiful 3-part harmony. Those are the guys with knives and would fucking stab you, So then it's weird that we got this attitude that like tough music is when you go chugga 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 chugga. The toughest dudes on the street are the ones singing the love songs and busting out.
Yeah, that's so funny. Oh, so you grew up in New York City most of your life?
No, I'm actually from the suburbs. So I'm from about an hour outside of New York. I'm from a town called Brentwood, which is like in the sticks. It's like in the middle of nowhere, but it's like a pretty poor town, a pretty dangerous town.
Okay.
I think it's got the largest population of El Salvadorian people outside of El Salvador, like in the world. It's like a huge percentage of Black and brown people, and it was an interesting place to grow up because it really is out in the sticks, but it's can be a little bit dangerous. It's maybe a little better these days, but yeah. And so I grew up out there and got into skinhead because of the Long Island hardcore scene. I went to I would see a band Neglect. That was my first time seeing like a live punk show, and I was like 15, I think. And I distinctly remember we were hanging out talking to this guy, and he was like an older dude, and he said, hold on for a second. And he got up and he walked onto the stage and took the mic, and it was Brian from Neglect. And he went from talking to us and being cool to like, singing and go. And immediately I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. The guy was just talking to us. This is so cool. Then like about halfway through the show, a bunch of skinhead dudes came in and just started demoing the place. But they were all wearing button downs and they looked sharp and they were, and at that point I was a skater and I looked down at myself and I remembered that's how I used to dress. I was always wearing button down jeans. I was like, boom, those guys, that's who I like this. I'm going to do that. That kind of like sparked it. A couple months after that, I had some records. I had like Oxblood records, Templars records. But again, I was living out in the suburbs. So for me, Oxblood, Templars, Rejects, Coxbar, these were like, it was like Batman and Robin, like having those comics. Like they weren't real people, And one day I was walking around my town with my little crew, and I was like, I'm the king of the skins out here. We're just marching, we're like, again, like 15, 16 years old, like boots walking down the street. And a truck pulled up next to us, and the guy driving the truck had "Oi" tattooed on his ear. So immediately we're like, what the fuck? Turned out it was Frank Oxblood driving the truck, and Phil Templar was the passenger in the truck. Phil Templar lived like less than a mile down the road from my house. And so we started hanging out. We, immediately like became really good friends. And he basically put me through like Oi College and Reggae College. And he would just come over and bring a stack of records. And we would just literally just chill out and like listen to punk and Oi and reggae and like, all kinds of amazing shit. Back in those days.
Love both those boys, man. Love them both.
Oh, awesome people. I give Phil 1,000% credit for me being here, both the positive and the negative, but for me sitting here right now, because he really, back in those days, you couldn't just get into a thing. You had to know somebody.
He's the same. Before the dawn. He has the band Before the Dawn. Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
I don't know.
He's bad. Huh?
Before the Dawn? I don't know that.
Templar does.
No, I don't know that. Maybe it's a side band. I don't know those guys.
Yeah, it's a side brand. It's a newer band project he's been working on. It's bad. It's awesome. It's death rock, dude. It's like Christian death type stuff. Like
crazy.
It's like intense. He does the bass and it. Yeah.
Harry. Oh no, I'm talking about Phil, the drummer.
You're talking about Phil. Okay.
Yeah, Perry has that band. Yeah, Perry's got like 6 bands, I think, right now.
Yes. Yeah. I love that guy. He's a good guy.
Awesome. We were
Yeah,
actually
he
just,
is.
up in Toronto. We were just having like Indian street food the day after the show, and he was telling me about some of the stuff he's doing. Awesome, dude.
There's like so many cool things going on with the scene though. I mean, like I'm so impressed with like the stress,
Yeah,
and oh, I mean, just like so many bands. Shape for Battle,
dude.
and
The
just
Stress are working on a new album, so I've gotten ready to hear some of the songs.
yeah,
I think that the Stress, their records are pretty good. They're a pretty good band. This next record, I think people are going to be like blown away because they've just branched out into like they got these new songs are like they're just it's just much a wider picture. It's that same Stress sound, but they're pulling in even more influences. Like
dude.
these new
Every
songs
album
feel
they get, it
shot.
just gets more and more. I get more impressed with
Yeah,
every
yeah.
album that comes out. I'm not even
I
gonna lie.
I get
I
to watch
mean,
those guys practice, dude, and I'm really like jealous of how good they are because they solid rhythm section,
yeah,
Tony's a
no
great
doubt.
singer, and they're like they're singing real songs. It's not they don't get up there and kind of like just there's a lot of good bands, but there's a lot of bands that are up there just going through the motions. Those guys are up
Yeah,
there, heart and soul, like really giving it to you, which is it's good to see. It's good to see cool people also making cool music. I'm telling you, this next album, when the next Stress album comes out, I think they're going to take that jump up like even one more level of popularity because it's so
woo,
those songs are so good
woo.
that they played a show and people were like, "Who's that a cover of?" Because that's how good like the new songs are. They're really really good.
Damn, that's awesome. Good to hear that. I just had Craig on the show again. I love that guy. Second time we had him on.
Dude,
Oh,
you gotta
dude,
love Craig. He's got just like, the best energy of like almost anybody I
he's
know.
got the nicest smile too, all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
He's just
And
like
he's
he's
just
such a tough
genuinely
guy, but you got a good smile.
yeah. No, he's a genuinely nice person. Like it's not like put on or anything like that. He's like that
Yeah,
24/7. Just you don't see
it's
that a lot of
awesome.
cool dudes.
Well, you got always got a nice smile too. Not
Oh,
gonna
thank you.
lie,
Appreciate it.
you
Appreciate
do
it.
got a very pleasant smile. All
Appreciate
right,
it. I
let's
try to
get
have
that
fun,
weird shit out of the way here.
Hey, I'll take a
Anyways,
compliment anytime, anywhere.
I know that's awesome. Hey, so you got you go. What was I gonna say? Darn it. Okay, so you have new album in the works right now.
Yeah, we're kind of not decided if we're gonna do a full length or another EP, but we've got about 4 or 5 songs in the can that are better than anything we've ever done, that are just really amazing. And Craig, just his bass playing is adding another element, another energy to it. He really is just like yeah, I've seen him obviously performing with the Stress before, but like getting to like sing over his bass playing and everything, it's bringing another thing to it. So I'm
That's
hoping
awesome.
and I think like I said, the songs I'm writing right now are really I'm impressed. But I like them. I don't. You never know
Okay,
what people are going to think, but I like
yeah,
them.
that's something I wanted to get right back to. I mean, that's what kind of left my mind. I wanted to talk to you about your lyric writing. Did you feel that there was a dry spell or something with your
Um,
writing?
you know what
I
it is? So
mean,
I don't write lyrics separately than music. So I don't work like I think a lot of
yeah,
bands the way they write their songs is like they make a riff and they record a whole track and then the singer comes along.
yeah,
That's not how we do it. Like, basically, I write almost all the songs, and I always start out with lyrics and music at the same time. I like I make a song that I want to sing from the beginning. But the thing about me is I need the pressure of the band needing a song. So what happened was we had a lineup for a while that was happy to just keep playing those songs, and so I didn't write more songs. But as soon as we got this lineup
okay,
together, our drummer Mike was like, "Yeah, I want to play some new songs." So that immediately I'm like, "All right, I got to write some new songs." And kind of what happened with Unstoppable was exactly that. Like I had songs written. I just wanted to record those songs. And Mike was like, "Hey, we should work on some new tunes." And immediately I wrote one and I brought that to the band and they learned it and they were ready to play it that week. And then I was like, "Oh no, now I got to write another song." And it just got the juices flowing. It's one of those things where if the band needs me to write a song, I can do it. But if the band isn't motivated to learn them, you can imagine you work on a song, you get it,
yeah.
you get the lyrics, you get everything together. If you bring it to the band and they're not super excited about it, then you go, But with these guys, they're just like more, give me more, and I love that pressure. That's super inspiring to me.
There was an amazing amount of variety on Unstoppable.
Thank
I
you.
liked it. Yeah, I mean, but yet it kept still that same energy that is you guys. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's just, but it was like super fast or super. I mean, just it was different. It would do a lot of dramatic changes, and that's one thing I thought was intriguing about it. It kept my interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You didn't
Well,
know what to expect next.
that's literally the best compliment you can give me. Like that's exactly because I'll be honest with you. So our most popular song is Dress Well, Drink Heavily. That's the song people love. Believe me, I write another version of Dress Well, Drink Heavily every week. I could pump those out all the time. But
Yeah.
I'm a music fan, and I hate buying an album. And you put the album on, and you're like, the first song, you're like, that's really good. And then the second song is the same thing, and then the third one, and the fourth. And by the end of the record, you're like, I just heard the same songs 12 times. So, we throw out more music than we put out because I want every song to be something where, my real goal is I want you to almost not like it. If you like I think that 86,400 is a perfect example. You heard two emotional kind of mid-tempo oi songs. Here's a real fast punk. Oh, now you like real fast punk song? Here, let me throw something else at you. And that's really, again, if I put up a song and it feels to me like, yeah, that sounds like another one of our songs, I just throw it out. I want to, because again, I'm mostly a fan. I want to pick up a record and hear a band trying. I'd even rather have a band have bad songs where I'm like, ooh, that didn't work out, than just, pump out 7 versions of the same exact song.
Oh, I hear you. I don't know if you know that song "Closer to God" by Nine Inch Nails. You get me closer to God.
Oh yeah, I do know.
Okay, I like that, but boy, they put out a single one time. I guess it had like 15 versions of the same song on it. Ooh,
I'm not going to name the band because they're actually cool people, but I was.
But
drunk
they're good. I mean, no,
once.
they were good, different.
Oh, yeah.
Each one were different, but it was like
Right.
still, it's like, wow, that's a single, man. That's a
Well,
single.
I heard an LP by a band that they're awesome dudes. I like them, they're great musicians, but like I was kind of in a dicky mood, and we played their whole record, and I sang the lyrics from the first song over every one of the songs because they were all like it was like 12 versions of each song had a different title and different words, but you could sing the same words over every song because they had their thing they do and they just kind of repeated it, which can be good too, dude. I love the Ramones, right? And they got like 2 songs pretty much, but that's never been I kind of want to try different stuff,
Yeah, it's true. We were just talking about the Ramones, how they're so much of an influence on a lot of bands, but such a variety of people that listen to them that say that, I mean, you have the ska people who love ska, people who love the aggressive punk, this or this and that, and this and this. I mean, they're all like, yeah, Ramones was like, but they're so simple, that was so perfect about it.
And that's awesome simple, too. I mean,
and no lead guitar, except for a couple songs, like 2 or 3.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I mean, I think there's room for everything, and I think that
remote,
dude, I love AC/DC. I don't trust anybody who doesn't love AC/DC, but I just know I just know me personally, it's much more about, and I think everything you can be great in a lot of ways, and I think that method of we're just going to hammer that same thing, that can be awesome too. It's just me personally, I get more excited when it's like, oh shit, we're going to do 86,400. Every time we do that one, I got to take a couple deep breaths. The old man's got to get ready because it's I like, maybe it's weird to say, but I like putting myself through the rigmarole. If you see us live, I'm like doing everything I can to beat the crap out of myself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. You got to get into your own music, man. I mean, that's your way of healing as well, is through your own music, and that's, I mean, how else are you gonna let that out? Let those demons out, or let those positive things out. I mean, it goes both ways. I mean,
1,000%.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, write good music. Sometimes you have to bite the apple, man. I mean,
I think that's the only way. Like I was talking to somebody else who's a singer about a band. To me, if you're going to get on stage and take that microphone, I want to see you rip your chest open and give me something,
Yeah, exactly.
Real come out of you. And that's what, to me, punk music is. There's all the genres and all these rules and this, that, and the other. But to me, the real pure thing about punk is I want to see somebody who, just like that first show I went to, somebody who's just hanging out, talking, just being, one of the people in the crowd, then get up there and really confess, to bring back.
That's one thing I always appreciate about Iggy Pop.
Oh,
and he still gets up there, no shirt on, and freaking yells his heart out, and pours his heart out. It's like, man, dude, much love.
Dude, I saw him perform at Randall's Island like maybe 15 or 20 years ago. I don't remember. And we walked out there, nobody even talked because he was every band that played was great, but he was an absolute lunatic. He climbed up on a camera thing and was like singing the individual. Yeah, Iggy Pop he's the GOAT in my opinion of that. Just like bringing it 1,000%. My was Little Richard, Iggy Pop in terms of like frontmen.
It seems like that's stuff that fuels you to be a good musician on stage?
All I'm doing is chasing that. Like, I'm Unstoppable is kind of about that. Like, all I'm doing, trying to do is chase that pure. I'm kind of a shy person in my normal day-to-day life. I'm kind of quiet. I don't really
Yeah,
but you give me that microphone,
a
and
little bit private, so on.
yeah, I mean, with the people I know, I'm outgoing and
Exactly.
but I don't really talk to strangers. I don't, that kind of thing. But you give me that microphone, and I am gonna. You might not like the music, but you cannot leave and say that I didn't give you 99.9% of myself, because I'm gonna go up there and wring out every drop. And that's, again, that's why I'm still doing it at this point. Is I still get that, when the band starts hitting those first notes and you hand me that microphone, I don't care who else likes it. I don't care how much money we make. I don't care where we're doing it. A bunch of years
Yeah.
back, we played a festival in, I think it was Milwaukee, and it was awesome. Great crowd. The promoters did a good job. It was a great show. At the end of the show, somebody's like, "Hey, will you come play at our house?" And we're like, "Yeah." So we wound up going to like the ghetto and playing at this dude's house in the basement, 10 people. And both of those shows were awesome. That one at the dude's house was one of the best shows we ever played. And it was,
Yeah.
there's something just really pure about when you're up there, just literally not for money, not for success, or who's in which cooler band, who's selling records. When you're just up there, like, literally, let's be honest, getting your childhood trauma out. There's something just,
Yeah. Well, this ain't something you do it for the money, anyways.
oh no.
This is nothing. I mean, you make pennies
Oh, I
to
think
the pennies to the dollar, if anything.
oh no,
If anything,
we lose
Yeah.
money. Like,
exactly. I mean, come
somebody
on
put
now.
something online once, and they were like, "Oh, 45 adapters, all about the money." And I died laughing, because, like, I've yet to see $1. This is like I really, the amount of money I spend on this, I could have like a new car and a bunch of other stuff. It costs a lot, but again, we just played in Paris, and I don't care how much it costs. I don't care whether we made money or lost it there. That pure feeling of where the crowd is with you, and it's like we're all together.
Yeah.
Better. It's these dudes from, like, there are people from Spain, there's people from Germany, there's people from Paris. Like, I'm a kid from Long Island. Nobody I knew had a passport. Nobody I knew went to like another state. So for me to be, in another continent, and somebody singing back at me, and they know what I'm talking about, like what it feels like to be poor and feel like you're not worth anything and things like that. It's like, holy shit, look at this thing that we built, and that not to sound like a hippie or something, but that you can't pay for that. You can't buy that.
No, you can't. So when it comes as far as if you would kind of sum up what you're trying to get across as, like, what are you trying to say in your music?
I mean, if you had to break it down to everything, it's that there is and I think this is kind of like what Unstoppable is about. There is a thing that's been going on throughout the history of, like, mankind, or how long people have been around, of just people who are not supposed to be anything getting together and saying,
Yeah.
"No, we're the best." And to me, it's all about that fundamental rhythm that we all share. And it doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter what you're thinking. When there's a good beat and you feel that real energy, a band can't do it. A crowd can do it. It's when
Yeah.
there've been times we were in this
Exactly.
place, Grand Victory, that was our old home base, and I could feel everybody in the place. We were one thing that was happening, and that, to me, what it's about. It's a bunch of people who, I grew up in, like, so Dress Well Drink Heavily starts out. I grew up in basements and garages. Like, some people have thought that was like I went to shows and I grew up there. No, like, I mean, literally, I grew
Yeah.
up in a converted garage with like no real heat, and
Yeah.
I was
I know
my whole
what you
life-
mean.
I was
I
told
do.
my whole life that I was going to be nothing, and I didn't matter, and the things I liked didn't matter. And then all of a sudden I got into punk, and I got into the scene, and we were making our own shows, and our favorite bands were the guys we sat with. Like, I've hung out with Coxbar, like, which I'm like obsessed with Coxbar. So I've hung out with those dudes, and you know what? They hang out like normal dudes. They don't put on any airs. They don't try to act like they're not something better or different. And how
Yeah.
many people can say that? Oh, all my favorite bands are just normal dudes. Taylor Swift is not hanging out in the crowd with her fans.
No,
Like,
no.
Beyonce is not just getting, doing shots with the kid down the block. It's a different thing. So that's really my message. Always is about how all these things that look different are actually the same. So loving soul, loving reggae, loving punk, that whole working class, like, we're going to build our own thing that we love based on our love of this music. That's to me what it's always been about. I mean, put it simply, it's don't trust anyone who doesn't dance, and it's not about, like, don't trust anybody who doesn't have great dance moves. It's about, like, don't trust anybody who can't hear that beat and
Don't
wanna
make me
with
get.
everybody.
Yeah. You don't want me to get jiggy. Yeah. No.
If you want, hey, whatever if you're in a room full of cool people and you hear that beat,
No, I
whatever
love
you
it.
feel like doing, that's what I want. That's that feeling, to me, is what it's all about. When that beat is going and we're all singing together. You think about, like, Coxbar. What is the greatest part of that? It's like 700 of your best friends all singing at the top of your vote. That to me is what the
Yeah.
message 45 Adapters is about, is all of that, from Cox Bar to, to Otis Redding to, all of that is part of one big thing that we all have like deep inside of us, and we're in a world now where you're constantly getting these messages of just consume, right? Just watch, consume,
Yeah,
sit back, don't
exactly.
make anything. Fuck that. Dude, I almost every show we play, I tell people, go start your own band. If you like this sound, go start your own band, because that's what we need to be doing, is spreading that creation, that being a part of things, and you look at punk, that's
true.
one of the biggest things about it, right? Every other kind of music, you go and you sit in the crowd and you consume, and they shove it in your face, and you just sit there and you go, oh, this is good. Punk is the only thing where it's like, no, dude, start a band or start a fanzine or start promoting shows or I don't know, something. Make you be part of the thing, which is
And there's no reason not to, because you have the support.
but also it's just be doing stuff. Don't believe all these messages that, well, you don't sing well, so you should let the real singers do it. No, get up there and sing. I if there's any message that I want 45 Adapters to get across, is we all had fucked up childhoods, we all had some crazy experience, and there's somebody out there right now who wants to hear about that exact experience. Get up there, grab the mic, and tell them about how your dad was a fucking asshole, and there's gonna be 100 other people like, my dad was just like that, or whatever it happens to be. Tell everybody what happened to you, and put that out there for us all to share, because nothing feels better when you're feeling bad about something than hearing somebody sing a nice song about how, hey, me too, bro.
That's awesome. You blew my mind with that. That was excellent, because it's so true. Really, people are hurting out there, and they really do need to hear it. And so I do appreciate you doing that. That's so amazing. Anybody you'd like to thank for your success? And because we're kind of down to, believe it or not, 4 minutes.
Well, I talk a lot. Sorry, you can't get me going. But yeah, I mean,
that's awesome.
I'm always going to thank Phil. I'm always going to thank Lucas. I think all my friends, Templars, Oxblood. But the number one people I'm going to thank right now is Distress, because meeting those guys is one of the best things that ever happened. That Unstoppable record, I'm proud of. If I never made anything else, I'm proud of that. This next record is going to be even better. And I got to thank the Distress dudes. Mike, Craig are really just reinvigorating everything. Ryan too. This new lineup is just, I love these guys. And I go to band practice and I watch them, and sometimes I fuck up because I'm just watching them going, these guys are just awesome people and awesome musicians. And I would say, please buy Unstoppable so that I can convince Pirate Press to put out one more, because this next record is going to be even better. Like, I'm 47 years old, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling more energy than I felt, ever.
That's good. That's good, man. Keep that fire alive, man. Keep it alive. You always have a home here. If you want,
thank you so much for having
you
me.
guys
Man.
have
really
your new
that.
album. Yeah, definitely. You guys get your new album out, ready or whatever. Come back, get you promoted on it. We'll talk about it. And yeah, you know what? You always got a home here, baby.
Cheers. Thanks so much for inviting me, man. I really enjoyed this. Had a good time. And sorry, I talk a lot. That's what everybody knows.
That's all right. That's what it's all about.
Awesome, man. Cheers.
Cheers to you, man. Much love and much respect. More rock and less cock here on the Roosta Show. We have 45 Adapters. Thank you, bud. You take care of yourself. God bless, and be well, and bless your family.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Started long ago, called the rock and roll, for electric guitar. Let's get ourselves, let's get ourselves, let's get ourselves. Unstoppable, unstoppable, feeling in my soul. Unstoppable, unstoppable, thing they call rock and roll. It's unstoppable, unstoppable, feeling in my soul. Unstoppable, unstoppable, thing they call rock and roll. Man is who we are. Shapes of tomorrow.